Now we will study the last concept of this chapter, that is moving coil galvanometer. Now we are already familiar with current and voltage in the third chapter. We have studied what happens to the current and voltage when resistors are in series or parallel, when cells are in series and parallel, that we have studied. But we haven't measured the current and voltage. Now how can we measure a current and voltage? Now that can be measured by using a device. The basic device is the moving coil galvanometer. The current is measured by using a device called the ammeter, and voltage is measured by using a device is called the voltmeter. The ammeter and voltmeter basically they are involving this device called moving coil galvanometer. Then what is a moving coil galvanometer? It is a device which detects the current in the circuit. It only detects the current and it is not going to measure how much current is flowing. It only detects the current. In order to measure how much current is flowing, we are going to make use ammeter. And in order to measure what is the potential drop at a particular segment of the circuit, we are going to make use of voltmeter. Okay. Now this is the basic device, moving coil galvanometer. It is a current detecting device. Now what is the functioning of this? What does this consist of and what is the principle and how we can convert the galvanometer into ammeter and voltmeter, that we are going to study in this chapter. You might have heard this word galvanometer in the third chapter while studying meter bridge, Wheatstone network and potentiometer. There we are using a galvanometer and that arm we have called it as galvanometer arm. Okay. Now that is this galvanometer. The basic principle is that we have already studied in the previous class. A current loop, when placed in an uniform magnetic field, that is external magnetic field, it experiences a torque. That is the principle of galvanometer. Now what does this galvanometer consist of? Now look here in the diagram. It consists of a coil having an n number of turns. Coil having an n number of turns. Now inside the coil we are placing a soft iron core. And this system is attached to a spring at the center. And it is pivoted to make free rotation. Two strong permanent magnets are placed so that those two magnets provide radial magnetic field. What is the meaning of radial magnetic field? That magnetic field is uniform in the radial direction, that is in circular orbit, that is in a circular path. The magnetic field is uniform. That's why it is called as radial magnetic field. The system is placed in that permanent magnets and there is a pointer attached to this coil system and it moves on a scale. Now that is the construction part of this galvanometer. Now we will study the theory part of the galvanometer. Theory. Now as and when the current flows through the coil, it becomes a current loop and the presence of the magnetic field produces torque on the coil that already we have studied. Now we have the direction of the magnetic field and the current is chosen such that theta is equal to 90 degree. It is so chosen that theta is equal to 90 degree. So therefore, the magnitude of the torque experienced by that current loop that we have studied is given by tau is equal to, since it is having n number of turns, it is n, the current flowing I, and the area of the current loop A, and the magnetic field. That is the magnitude. Since theta is 90 degrees, therefore sin 90 is 1. Now we are familiar with this one. Now torque experienced by a current loop, any planar loop placed in a magnetic field is m cross b. That relation we are already derived it one. M is the magnetic moment, it is the product of current and the area of the loop, that is I into A, and B is this magnetic field, and N is the number of turns in the coil. Now this is the magnetic torque experienced by the current loop. Since this system is attached to a spring, the spring gets twisted. Now that spring also produces a counter torque. It produces a counter torque, and that is given by tau is equal to K into phi. Now this is the magnetic torque produced when the current starts to flow through the coil. Now because of the spring system, the spring gets twisted, and that in turn produces a counter torque and this coil system. Now that counter torque is given by K into phi. Now here phi is the number of deflections. Phi is the deflection, and K is called restoring torque per unit twist. Here K is restoring torque per unit twist, and it is also called as torsional constant. K is also called as torsional constant, and theta is the deflections, number of deflections. Now in this system we are arriving at two torques. Now at equilibrium, these two torques are balanced, and hence this pointer moves steadily on the scale. So at equilibrium, these two torques are equal, therefore K into phi is equal to N into I into A into B, okay, or I want phi only. Phi is equal to N A B divided by K into the magnetic into the current I. Now this is the deflections in the galvanometer when a current I flows through the coil. So N is the number of turns, area is the cross section of the loop, and B is the radial magnetic field, uniform magnetic field, and K is the restoring torque per unit twist. ಆ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗು ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಟ್ಗೆ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟಾರ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸಿಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನೇ ರಿಸ್ಟೋರಿಂಗ್ ಟಾರ್ಕ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. From this relation we can calculate what is the deflection. Now look here, inside the bracket term all are constant, number of turns constant, area is constant, B is constant, K is constant. So therefore the deflection phi is directly proportional to the current flowing through the coil. So therefore we can use the galvanometer to measure current as well as voltage by making a small arrangement or alternative. A small alternative is required for this galvanometer to convert it into ammeter and voltmeter, that we will study later onwards. Now let me define two quantities here. Now from this expression, I will take phi by I. Then what is phi by I? I will get N A B divided by K. Now this quantity we call it as current sensitivity. Then what is current sensitivity? Deflection per unit current. Number of deflections per unit current is called current sensitivity of the galvanometer. Therefore, how can we increase the current sensitivity of the galvanometer from this relation? So, if you by increasing the area, by increasing the magnetic field, and also by increasing the number of turns. Among them, the best method is by increasing the number of turns. If you increase the number of turns, obviously the current sensitivity of the galvanometer, it increases. There is one more quantity that we call it as a figure of merit of the galvanometer. That you are going to do one experiment regarding this one, figure of merit of the galvanometer. So it is also denoted by the letter capital K. Now what is the figure of merit means? It is just the reciprocal of these two. It is I by phi. The current for unit deflection is called figure of merit. Don't get confused with these two terms here. Now this is current sensitivity, deflections per unit current. Unit current ಅನ್ನು ಫ್ಲೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗ್ಯಾಲೋನೋಮೀಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಿಟಿವಿಟಿ. ಈಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಫಿಗರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆರಿಟ್. ಒಂದು ಡಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಫಿಗರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆರಿಟ್. ದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ unit deflection in the galvanometer is called figure of merit, that you will study in the lab. Okay. Next, take the same relation. Phi is equal to N A B divided by K into I. Okay. Now let me define one more quantity. Let me define this relation by the voltage V. Then I will get N A B divided by K into I by V. I am getting. Or phi by V is equal to N A B divided by K into. We know that V by I, according to Ohm's law, V by I is resistance. I by V, it is 1 upon resistance. So here we are going to define one more quantity. Deflections per unit voltage is called voltage sensitivity. Here it is current sensitivity. Deflections per unit current, that is current sensitivity. In the same manner, deflection per unit volts. Deflection per unit volt is called as voltage sensitivity. Now these are the two quantities that we have defined. Now how can you increase the voltage sensitivity of a galvanometer? Now look here, voltage sensitivity also depends on N, that is the number of turns. But what happens if I increase the number of turns? Obviously the resistance also increases. That means R also increases here, but it is in the denominator. If N is, I have increased to 2N, obviously the resistance is also increased to 2R. Then have you increased the voltage sensitivity? No, we have not at all increased the voltage sensitivity. That is done by using the another method. So therefore here, in order to increase the current sensitivity, we are going to increase the number of turns. The same thing does not hold good for the case of voltage sensitivity. Next is How can you convert the galvanometer into ammeter? What is an ammeter? Ammeter is a current measuring device. What is galvanometer? Galvanometer is a current detecting device. Why can't we use this galvanometer to measure directly the current? Why can't we measure it? Because of the two reasons. One is this galvanometer is highly sensitive. What is that meaning of highly sensitive? That galvanometer shows full scale deflection for a small current of the order of microamps. For a small current, it shows maximum deflection. Therefore, it is highly sensitive and cannot be used directly to measure the current. That is the first thing. And second one is why we are not using this galvanometer directly to measure the ammeter. Now, this galvanometer, because of the coil system, it has a resistance. That resistance we call it as Rg. Rg is the resistance of the galvanometer. In some textbook they have written only capital G. Capital G is the resistance and Rg is the resistance of the galvanometer. Now that resistance is a little bit higher one. If you use this galvanometer to measure directly the current, obviously the circuit current reduces. Because of the two factors, galvanometer cannot be used to directly measure the current. Then how can you make the galvanometer into ammeter? That is our concept. Since galvanometer is having a high resistance, I have to reduce the resistance of the galvanometer. Now in the third chapter we have studied a series and parallel combination of the resistors. If the resistors are in series, what will happen? The resistance add up and increases. If the resistors are in parallel, what is the effective resistance? They divide, resistance divides up, and hence the effective resistance decreases. Now in order to convert the galvanometer into ammeter, I have to reduce the resistance of the galvanometer. How? By connecting in parallel combination with a small resistance. Therefore, a galvanometer can be converted into ammeter by connecting a very small resistance in parallel to the galvanometer. That small resistance, what we are going to connect in parallel with the galvanometer, is called as shunt resistance. Shunt resistance. RS. Shunt resistance ಅಂತಂದೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Now the diagram for converting the galvanometer into an ammeter is, now this is, we are having a galvanometer. Now it is having an internal resistance that we have called it as Rg. Now this is the galvanometer. Okay. Now this system is a galvanometer. Now I have to convert this galvanometer into ammeter. Then how I am going to convert? I have a galvanometer with an internal resistance Rg. This is what? Galvanometer. I have to convert this one into ammeter by connecting a small resistance in parallel. That small resistance we have called it as shunt resistance. Now this system, it behaves as an ammeter. Now this is the galvanometer. We are connecting in parallel a small resistance. Therefore this becomes an ammeter. This is the circuit diagram of the ammeter. Now, since we have connected a very small resistance in parallel, the effective resistance of the system even lesser than the small resistance, and hence it can be connected directly in series with the circuit to measure the current. Therefore, current in the circuit is not altered. So, what we have made? We have connected a small resistance in parallel. Now, since these two are in parallel, the potential drop across the galvanometer and the potential drop across the shunt resistor remains the same. Now, potential drop across the galvanometer, I am writing if I is the current flowing through the circuit, that is this branch. Now, let me take the current flowing through the galvanometer, that is Ig. Here onwards, we call it as full scale deflection current. Since it is in parallel combination, the current divides. Then what is the current flowing here? It is I minus Ig that we have studied in the third chapter. No? In parallel combination, current divides. So therefore, what is the potential drop across this galvanometer? Then it is current flowing through the galvanometer, that is full scale deflection current, multiplied by its resistance, that is Rg. Similarly, what is the potential drop across the shunt resistor? Potential drop across the shunt resistor is the current I minus Ig multiplied by the resistance Rs. Since they are in parallel combination, those two are equal. Therefore, I minus Ig into Rs is equal to Ig into Rg. Now I am going to calculate what is the expression for Rs, the small resistance that to be connected in parallel. That can be worked out by using this relation. Rs is equal to Ig into Rg divided by I minus Ig. If you know the resistance of the galvanometer and the full scale deflection of the galvanometer, deflection current of the galvanometer, we can easily convert the given galvanometer into ammeter to a desired value of current. ಯಾವ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವ ರೇಂಜ್ ವರೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆಯೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಈ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಶಂಟ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ಅಮ್ಮೀಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಮೀಟರ್. What is a voltmeter? It is a voltage measuring device. Now, how can you convert the given galvanometer into voltmeter? Now, voltmeter, since it is having a high internal resistance, it is always connected in parallel. It has to be connected in parallel. So, therefore, I have a galvanometer here with an internal resistance Rg. This is the galvanometer. This is galvanometer system. Now I am going to convert this one into voltmeter. Since voltmeter is to be connected in parallel, it is connected in parallel. Therefore, this voltmeter does not draw any current. Because of that reason, the voltmeter should contain a very high internal resistance. If it draws the current, then obviously the drop across the branch in which we are going to calculate what is the potential drop, it obviously decreases. That is the case. So for that reason, we have a galvanometer. It is to be converted into voltmeter by connecting a high resistance in series with it. Now that is as shown in the diagram. Now this is, we are having a galvanometer with internal resistance Rg. This is galvanometer. Up to this one, it is galvanometer. Now I have to increase the resistance of the galvanometer. That means I have to connect a high series resistance. A high series resistance, capital RS. In the previous, we have written small RS because it is a shunt resistance, small one. A series high resistance, that is RS, is to be connected. Now this combination, now it works as voltmeter. This is the diagram. Now this is galvanometer, this is voltmeter. Okay. Now what is the expression for RS? The series high resistance that we are going to work out. Now since the current Ig is flowing through the galvanometer, since the circuit is in series combination, so Ig is a full scale deflection current. It is flowing through the series resistor also. Therefore, what is the total potential drop across these two terminals? If you work out, the potential drop is equal to the current flowing Ig multiplied by the effective resistance. Here we are having a resistance of the galvanometer Rg and a high series resistance Rs. Therefore, it is Rg plus Rs. Okay. So, therefore, V by Ig is equal to Rg plus Rs. We are in need of series high resistance. Therefore, Rs is equal to V by Ig minus Rg. By using this simple relation, we can work out what is the high resistance to be connected in series with the galvanometer to convert it into a voltmeter. Voltmeter ಆಗಿ ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ರೀಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸೀರೀಸ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮೆಜರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ದಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೇಂಜಿನ ವೋಲ್ಟ್ಮೀಟರ್ನಾಗಿ ಗ್ಯಾಲೋನೋಮೀಟರ್ನ ವೋಲ್ಟ್ಮೀಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಅಮ್ಮೀಟರ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ರೀಸನ್ ammeter is always connected in series with the circuit. Voltmeter ಗೆ internal resistance high irtade. For that reason it is always connected in parallel. For an ideal ammeter, ideal case ಗೆ what is the internal resistance? Internal resistance is 0. For an ideal voltmeter, what is the internal resistance? It is infinity. You should remember these 2 points. For an ideal ammeter, internal resistance is 0. For an ideal voltmeter, internal resistance is infinity. Now we will solve one problem here. In the circuit, the current is to be measured. What is the value of the current in current? If the ammeter shown is, first case, it is a galvanometer with a resistance of 60 ohm. B, it is a galvanometer described in A, first case, but converted into an ammeter by a shunt resistance of 0.02 ohms. And C, it is an ideal ammeter with 0 resistance. In these 3 cases, we are going to calculate what is the current flowing through the circuit. Now that current, if I take it as I, now the circuit is as shown in the figure. Okay. Let me study case by case. Now first case A. In the first case, now this is a galvanometer. It becomes a galvanometer of internal resistance Rg is equal to, that is given 60 ohms. Galvanometer of resistance 60 ohm. And here is we have an external resistance R is equal to 3 ohm. Given a battery of voltage V is equal to 3.00 volts. What you have to work out? We have to work out what is the current in the first case, that is current flowing through the circuit. So simply by using Ohm's law, this voltage V is equal to current I into resistance, total resistance of the circuit. Now what is the total resistance here? Now this is 3 ohm is in series with this galvanometer resistance. Therefore it is R plus RG. Therefore I is equal to V divided by R plus RG. The voltage is 3 divided by, it is resistance is also 3 plus 60. 3 by 63, 1 divided by 21. If you work out using the calculator, I will get current is equal to 0.048 amps. That is the current. That is first case. Clear? Now second case, now this becomes an ammeter. Initially it was a galvanometer, and that to galvanometer they are connecting a shunt resistance of Rs is equal to 0.02 ohms. Therefore it becomes an ammeter. Now in the second case, Rg is 60 and small Rs shunt resistance is 0.02 ohms. Then what is the total resistance? Since those two are in parallel, therefore Rg plus, therefore Rg Rs divided by Rg plus Rs. Now Rg value, it is 60 plus 0.60 into 0.02 divided by 60 plus 0.02. Now for the calculation purposes, I am taking 60 plus 0.02 is nothing but 60. Therefore 60 get cancels. The total resistance of the galvanometer when the shunt resistor is connected, it becomes 0.02 ohms. This is when initially we had a galvanometer of 60 ohm, across which we are connecting, we have a galvanometer with resistance Rg, that is 60 ohm. Now I am converting this galvanometer into ammeter by connecting a small resistance. Therefore these two becomes parallel. Therefore what is the effective resistance of the ammeter anta helidre? This is 0.02. Now I have to calculate. Now this entire resistance becomes 0.02 for the second case. Therefore what is the current flowing? Current flowing is equal to voltage divided by the total resistance. 3 ohm, that is external resistance, plus resistance, this is 0.02 ohm. Now voltage is 3 divided by 3.02, or that current is nearly 0.99 amps, 0.99 amps. That is the second case. Now third case, very interesting one. That galvanometer becomes an ideal ammeter with zero internal resistance. It becomes an ideal ammeter with zero internal resistance. Therefore, the resistance of this galvanometer becomes, in the third case, it is zero. Therefore, in the total, in the circuit, we are having only this resistor and this voltage. Therefore, total resistance of the circuit, how much it is? It is only 3 ohms. Therefore, current through the circuit in the third case is V by R. It is 3 by 3. Current flowing through the circuit is 1 amps. So like that we are going to solve the problems. One more problem. How can you convert a galvanometer into voltmeter of range 0 to 3 volts? Given figure of merit of the galvanometer 20 into 10 to the power of minus 6 amps. Number of divisions in the galvanometer 30. Resistance of the galvanometer is 100 ohm. Okay. Now solution. What are the given things? A voltmeter of range 0 to 3 volts. That is V is equal to 3 volts. Voltage range that you have to convert it. That you have to be used. Figure of merit of the galvanometer. Now K is equal to 20 into 10 to the power of minus 6 amps. What is figure of merit? It is current for unit deflection in the galvanometer that you have studied. Amps per division. Figure of merit is amps per division. Okay. Then the total number of divisions is given. That is 30 divisions in the galvanometer on one side. Now I have to calculate what is the full scale deflection current. Therefore, the full scale deflection current Ig is equal to current for one deflection and the total number of divisions, N into K or K into N. That is 20 into 10 to the power of minus 6. Now this is the current for one deflection. Now this galvanometer is having how many divisions on one side? That is 30 divisions. Therefore, in order to get from 0 to 30 divisions, what is the current required? That we call it as full scale deflection current. 20 into 30, so that is equal to 600 into 10 to the power of minus 6 amps. 600 into 10 to the power of minus 6 amps, that is the full scale deflection current. The internal resistance of the galvanometer Rg is given. How much it is? 100 ohms. They have given 100 ohms. Now what we have to calculate? Now this given galvanometer has to be converted into voltmeter. How can you convert it? By connecting a high resistance in series. First we have to calculate what is that high resistance R or Rs is to be connected. That you have to work out. Now we know the formula. Rs is equal to V by Ig minus resistance of the galvanometer. Resistance of the galvanometer. By using this simple relation, we have to work out what is the high resistance to be connected in series. Now that is 3 divided by, it is 600 into 10 to the power of minus 6 minus this one is 100. Okay. Now look here. It is 3 by 6 into, I am simplifying this one, 10 to the power of minus 4, because 600 can be written as 6 into 10 to the power of plus 2 and 10 to the power of minus 6. So it is 10 to the power of minus 4 minus 100. This 1s are 2s are 1 by 2. What is 1 by 2? That is 0.5 into 10 to the power of plus 4. 10 to the power of minus 4 denominator is numerator plus 4 minus 100. So that is equal to 10 to the power of plus 4 means it is 10,000. 10,000 into 0.5, it is 5,000 minus 100. Therefore, the series resistance to be connected, high resistance, is 4,900 ohms. Now we have calculated what is Rs. Now we have to write. Therefore, the given galvanometer can be converted into voltmeter by connecting 4900 ohms that just we have calculated in series with the galvanometer. Now, lastly, the sentence has to be written, no? Because they have asked, how can you convert the galvanometer into voltmeter? Most of the students will do these things, and they leave the answer here itself. They have just calculated the resistance. They have not written how can you convert the galvanometer with this resistance. That is should be written properly.